Hey everyone, Andres here, going live with Real Talk with Heather and Andres. I know we're past the time frame, a little bit, few minutes. Really something new for us, getting this thing going, getting it set up, and just the final details. Um, Anyone that comes on board, please welcome. If you have any questions, let us know. Today, we just really want to talk about what brought us here. Why are we doing this? What's our drive? Introduce ourselves and get to know each other a little bit more, and for you guys to get to know us as we get on this journey. I think it's going to be fun and it's going to be exciting, and we want to bring a lot of content here for everyone to learn something, whether it's finances, real estate, entrepreneurship, business, mindset, different things that we want to share with you guys, and really just keep it open and unfiltered, because that's us. We have a conversation as good friends, great partners, and want you guys to be part of that. You hear me fine, Heather?
Yeah, no, we can hear you really good. You're a little bit blurry on the screen right now.
Yeah, Zoom. I don't know if you guys won't be able to see Heather because of still working out some technical aspect of things, getting the Zoom directly live from going live directly from Zoom so we can put that on Facebook. So as we continue to get this going, we'll make sure we get everything straightened out. So Heather, how did we get to this point? I know you and I met a few months ago back in July of last year, I
Yep.
think. So we're going towards a year now, and it's been an interesting journey so far. So what got us to this point? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So when I met you, actually I was going through a really rough spot in life. I was still in the middle of my 6-year divorce, and real estate for me at that time, while I was still an agent and still trying to be an active agent, I was also needing to be home with my kids. So I was kind of in the position was even if I had more business, it wasn't really going to help me out at that moment because that would just take me away from where I needed to be. So business would be good because it would be more money, but I didn't have anybody to be with my kids. And my daughter needed some extra help at that time for some medical reasons. And when I met you, you actually called me a few times. We set up an appointment, and then I just blew you off like several times. And
Yeah,
you
you
kept
didn't.
calling me, and you kept calling me and texting me, and following up with me. And finally, honestly, what got me to get on the Zoom with you, I was like, oh my God, this guy is relentless and he just doesn't stop. So if this is how they are just trying to get me on the phone, I bet they're pretty good at what they do. So let me just hear him out and see what he has to say. And so then I got on the phone with you, and I was like, what is this cloud, the thing you're talking about in this marketing? And I'm like, that sounds good, but what about what you're doing? I want to do that. And then we talked about that, and it went from there.
Nice. And it seems like it was yesterday, huh?
It does. It does. It feels like it was, just yesterday. It's been almost a year.
Yeah, it has been. How long you been in the real estate space?
This is my 5th year, going into my 5th year. So I've been in it. I started right when everything you learned in real estate school didn't matter anymore because it was just crazy. So it was interesting how real estate has changed since I got my license till now. It's always, market's always going to have different struggles and different issues, but it's been interesting. What about you, Andres? How did you get involved with cloud and then real estate altogether?
Well, with real estate altogether, I've always had interest in the industry. Got my license in California, but did not get to practice as we already have plans to move over to Huntsville just over 2 years ago. But once I got into Huntsville, Alabama, got introduced to the broker of Cloud Realty, that's Robbie Dorset. And in my first meeting there, and you won't believe it, it was windy. I put this black suit on, white shirt, looked like I was going to a funeral. Um, and then I showed up to a bar, kind of a brewery, and here's Sean, Robbie, and Jake, the managing partners here at Cloud Realty. And I show up in a suit, and they are in shorts, sandals, just having a good time. I completely looked out of place. I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted to give a first impression, but given the circumstances, I think it went a whole completely different way. So I started talking to Sean, and from that point on, I think just clicked. His mindset, his leadership, his drive to bring Cloud Realty to a level of expertise in the industry. That's just I clicked with him right away, and I started plugging in into the different area of the business rather than diving into the real estate and transactions right away. I took a back door in into the business where are learning all the systems that takes place behind closed door to get leads, the systems in place to have those conversations to be successful. So I really dive into that, and as I continue to learn from him that aspect, I wanted to get more and more involved with Cloud Realty and what it was all about. I thought they brought a sense of a need to the industry with what we're doing and the dedication from the team around it, and commitment to help agents grow in their respective field and their respective industry. I think that alone just it set well with me, and I wanted to dive in more and more. The more I dive in, the more I wanted to learn, the more I wanted to be part of the growth of the company. And here we are today, just over a year and a half, almost 2 years with Cloud Realty, and um, I think the sky's the limit. We're going above the clouds. Yes, our name is Cloud Realty, but we're going above that because there's so much potential and so much care in what we're doing that it's just going to take us to high places.
Definitely.
And in the process, I met you there, and like you said earlier, I think we clicked. The way your commitment to grow, to plug in and get acclimated to the team, and just help us and continue to learn, continue to bring new strategies, new ways to improve our services, to help other agents. I think you and I clicked, and that just naturally, here we are today. So it's amazing.
It is. And I think what makes us click, not only with each other, but with the company Cloud and everyone in it as a whole, is that they actually care about the agents and they care about the agents' growth and success. It's not just, oh, let's, cram something down their throat that, isn't going to be really valuable to them. It's really dive in with the agents, see what their business is, help them with what needs help. And if it's not a right fit, it's not a right fit. We're not trying to, what's that game when you're a little kid and you have like all the different shapes and you have to put the shapes in the right little spot? You know what I'm talking about?
I'll be honest with you. I grew up in the Dominican Republic. So I grew up on the street, just playing basketball, playing baseball. I am not familiar with many of the games that the kids grew up here. Um, but I could see that.
Well, it's like the expression like trying to fit a square block into like a circle or something like that. And that's, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to make sure that the agents that, are introduced to Cloud, it is something that's going to benefit them. It's just the fact that the company actually cares is what, solidified for me.
That is true. I've talked to a number of agents in the industry that've been in the business for years, and they work with other companies, they work with other agents themselves, partners, leaders, that the level of care is not there, right? Some things are disconnect, and I think we are completely opposite in that end, where what we're trying to do is for the benefit of the agent, and if the agent does succeed, our growth is not there. So as long as we keep that, that's our core value, not cutting corners at the agent's expense, and helping, looking out for mutually growing together, that aspect.
What do you think is some of the challenges, or when you're on the call and you're, working with agents, what are some of the things that they're saying right now in present time is something that they're facing challenges with their business?
And consistency on business, right? And some agents don't have a way of generating consistent business, new leads, closing those deals. A lot of times, I'll be honest, I've had a number of conversations where there's leads in front of the agents, and it's just a matter of picking up the phone and making a call. There's business out there, but there's also has to be a level of commitment from the agent to be able to pick up the phone and make the call and have those conversations. Because at the end of the day, we can put a number of leads, we can put a number of business in front of someone, but if they're not openly having those conversations, they're not going to be able to close the deal, right?
Yeah.
So there's multiple ways to generate leads, business, but it comes back around to actually picking up the phone and having a conversation, getting in front of that lead, that person. I've talked to a number of agents that, yeah, they try running ads, they get discouraged because they don't see the level of success right away. So there's multiple things you have to look into it, rather than just say, I ran ads for 3 days, for 3 months, I did not see anything coming through. You did that for 3 months, but what exactly were you doing? What were the conversion rates? How many conversations were you actually having? So when I hear agents say, yeah, I tried Facebook and that didn't work, and I tried Google, that didn't work. We need to dive a little bit deeper into what exactly what they're doing. So like I said earlier, you might be able to generate leads, but if you're not, you know, calling those leads and you get discouraged after 2 or 3 times and know someone and doesn't pick up the phone, then you're leaving business on the table for somebody else.
Yeah, definitely. Why are we starting this podcast? What are we trying to get out of this? What was the reason for us to do this?
It's funny you asked that because years ago, since I was a kid, people were telling me, "Hey, you have the voice for radio." I'm like, "What? No, I don't. I am not. That's not for me at all." But yet here we are today, and I think that it's a great question because honestly, I never thought I would be in the radio or doing a podcast like this. And I was thinking about this earlier. Sometimes we don't understand where we're going, what direction we have. We want to do certain things, and some things happen in the process to derail us from where we need to go, where we actually need to be in place. And one of the reasons I'm in real estate, if I can go back to that main question, is I want to be able to connect with people. I want to be able to connect with people because my father, my mom as an immigrant, they came out here with the mindset of achieving the American dream, being able to purchase homes, be able to be financially free, and be able to retire back in their country. I'm from the Dominican Republic. A lot of investors are actually moving up there now. So that was the original goal for them, right? And a lot of people come here, they start working, and they get lost and forget what the purpose was. They get so caught up in the rat race that there's no way out, and they end up forgetting about those goals or not making it halfway there. So along with that, I thought this opportunity, when you mentioned it to me, presents a great vehicle to be able to connect with more people that have been in that situation, right? That have been either have parents or they are themselves. I talked to a number of immigrants that come out here and they want to buy a property, they want to be financially free, but yet they don't know what the next steps are. They don't know how to get there. They don't know what it would take, and they've been out here in this country for decades. But they're not educated in the process to be able to get there. So I want to be able to connect with people, because at the end of the day, on my real estate space, that's my goal, to be a bridge where I can connect people to be homeowners and eventually educate them so they're financially free. And that's my long-term vision, my goal, to be able to do that. And the more ways I'm able to connect with people and reach out and educate them and help them in this process, for me, that's a win situation. And at the same time, now we also have a venue to help other agents through Cloud Realty, to be able to connect with other agents that have come into the business not knowing what it would take. I came into the business just thinking, it's real estate, let's do it. And we see over 87% of agents drop out of the business within 2 years because they have no guidance. They have no vehicle to stay afloat, to grow, scale their business and achieve what they initially wanted to do when they came into the real estate space. So I think we are able to connect with agents like that, agents that have been successful, that are successful, and we might be able to help them in another capacity, So I think there's a lot of people that we can reach, people that we're able to connect and help. And I think having this vehicle, this way of doing that, we can certainly make that happen. So yeah, that's why I'm here doing a podcast now. I'm trying to do things out of my comfort zone, but that's part of the growth, right? It's never easy, it's never comfortable. So
no, if it's easy and it's comfortable, you need to get up and start moving, because that means you've become complacent.
Yeah. How about yourself? What brought you to doing a podcast here today?
Just being able to reach more people, to bring, Cloud to more people. I know with the communities that we're launching, and I know we'll do another podcast later, all on the communities and how they help people. Just being able to kind of network with people on a new channel. I know before I was all into the networking scene, I would go to a lot of events, and, most of them where you would go, you would meet people, you'd pass out your business cards. And it was always kind of like a hassle. You'd get a handful of business cards that you're probably never going to ever go through again. I know everyone teaches you in coaching and stuff. You text everybody the next day, oh, it was nice meeting you. And, you save their business card. But honestly, people don't really have the time now. And especially since COVID, everybody's getting kind of away from social networking events where you go and you're in a group of, all these people in person. And with a podcast, it's nice because you can get information out there and people can listen to it whenever they want to. It's not something that they have to stop their Tuesday at, 6 o'clock and go to an event. They can listen to it in carpool line. They can listen to it at the gym. They can listen to it in the shower. It's just a way of getting information to agents. And hopefully it helps agents because I feel so sad that a lot of people go through all the work of getting their license and, becoming an active agent just to not even last a year because it's so hard for them because nobody really teaches you how to be an agent. I know I always felt like, when you become an agent, you should be assigned a big brother or a big sister to walk you through your first couple of transactions because you don't know what you're doing and they don't teach you anything relevant to being an agent in real estate school. They don't teach you how to open a Supra. They don't teach you how to put a listing on the MLS. I mean, there's so much that you don't know when you become an agent. It's kind of scary. You're handling people's huge transactions, and a lot of it you don't even know what you're doing at first.
That is true. Coming into the industry, you don't get assigned anyone. You can easily get overwhelmed and just flutter out and not do anything at all. I certainly had moments like that where I look lost, no sense of direction. What's my next step? Like, where do I go? Where do I start? How do all these questions and that just kept me in place. So I certainly see where having someone to guide you through those, I would say the first 3 years, right, get you over the hump, and then you take off from there. That would certainly be a big difference in a lot of people's as they coming into the field.
Kara, I see your comment. You want to unmute and tell us your story? That sounds actually like, I'm sure not funny in the moment for you, but sounds funny now.
So it was thankfully a girlfriend, and her partner I was showing houses to. And I just thought it was this cute little app. I don't need to look at it too much ahead of time. Well, there's this activation code from the Huntsville Association Area of Realtors. And it was also 900 degrees outside at the time. So I am sweating because it's hot and sweating because I'm so humiliated. It took me 30 minutes. And thank goodness I got to go through this with my friends because I would have been so embarrassed had it been someone I didn't have that relationship with previously.
I think a lot of agents have, well, I'm sure some will say, oh, no, that's never happened to me. But I think that's happened to all of us. And sometimes it's like as simple as there's no like Wi-Fi, there's not a good signal, or the CBS code. CBS, what is it? I always say the wrong thing. CBS, right? CBS code, and you don't have that code and you're trying to get in.
Sorry, I had the audio blocked over here. You're good.
But yeah, no, I'm glad it was with a friend of yours and not a client who was like, oh my God, they can't get in the door. Well, how did it go? Did you guys end up buying that house?
So I ended up no, not that house. I sold her house and she opted not to buy another one. So she could save some money. So she actually moved back in with her parents. I hope it had nothing to do with my fumble.
No, I'm sure I did. But that is funny. Actually, I think I've seen TikToks about that too, not being able to open the door. I know you, Andres, you have an embarrassing story for us?
Not yet. I would say embarrassing story. Not yet, but I'm sure they will come. I think there's always something. And I worked with a client for a few months, and the end of the day, they didn't turn out to buy anything. But it's just another thing, right? It's part of the process. Some clients may not be ready, and they think they are. But I think one of those moments will be ahead of me. I have no doubt.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I have no sense of directions, can't follow a map to save my life. And the amount of times I've gone to the wrong house is very sad, actually. But there have been times where I'll call the client and be like, I'm here. And they'll be like, we're here, you're not here. And You'd think the no sign in the yard would be my first hint that I was at the wrong house, but it's not, because sometimes there's not a sign in the yard. So my embarrassing stories would be driving to the wrong house and then having the client have to wait until I get to the right house. Probably any other job would have been better that didn't require me following a map on a daily basis
With direction.
with directions.
So I wanted to ask Heather. So I know we focus on, you mentioned we're helping agents through here. Unfiltered, Cloud Realty, be able to connect and help agents. How is there any way you want this podcast to impact people, and not just in business but in life?
I want it just to, kind of help entrepreneurs, whether it could be any business. It doesn't necessarily even have to be real estate, just to know that it's not all, sunshine, rainbows, and kittens. Like, it's okay to have a day where you're frustrated and you're like, oh my gosh, this is never going to work. But then you got to, put your hat back on, sit at your desk, and figure out what you can do differently to make it work. And I think that's like, the nitty gritty, the unfilteredness of what we want to do is like be real with situations and, give information to help people with their business and help them, maybe they've hit a rough spot, maybe they've hit a wall and they're like, I don't know what to do. And sometimes you're so close to a situation that you can't see a different route because you're in it and you're stuck. But when other people are there to kind of look at your situation, they can give you, helpful advice. So I wouldn't necessarily say the goal of this podcast is to like convert everybody to a cloud agent, which would be awesome if, they did. But I think the goal for me is just to help people, just to come a place where people can talk with other entrepreneurs and kind of like commingle, network, and figure out what's working for people, what's not working for people, and just like an information hub to kind of share. So I know since this is our first one, we're kind of just doing the, get to know you, get to know me, what's this all about? But moving forward, we're going to have topics, we're going to have guests, we're going to have, kind of like an open forum, yet also structured with advice and, guidance and just information for people on, how they can use whatever technology they're using to their benefit.
Absolutely. I like that. Because I've been one of those where I had moments I'm stuck, just too much in my head and really blocking the opportunities that are in front of me, the roles that are in front of me, and having someone that can come in and just pick up the phone. I have multiple people like that, and Sean, Coach Ross, that I can pick up the phone and just clearly say, hey, what do you think about this? And right away it's like, oh, the light comes on and oh shit, it's right in front of me. That's what I need to do. But I think we get overwhelmed a lot of times, and especially as an entrepreneur, I dive into this and I knew what I wanted. Did I know how to get there? No, not necessarily. I figure it out on the way. And I think there's a lot of people like that. You just have to take a chance. And something that Coach Ross always mentioned to me is you just jump out of the plane and you figure it out, or you take off on a plane, you put the plane together as you go. Are you going to stay in the air long? No, unless you do your shit and you put the plane together. So I think it's great to be able to bring different content, different ideas, different guests to elaborate on some areas that it can touch someone at a different point in their life, at a different stage of their business, different stage of their career, and just bring tons of value in that capacity, and not just focus real estate or on a specific area. I think that we have something here that we can reach a large audience and be able to connect with a lot of people.
If our listeners have something that, they want to talk about or discuss, they can always message us and say, hey, can this be a topic? Can we talk about this? Or, if they have questions, the chat's open, you can email us. That way we can, address the concerns that people are having, right now. And the best way to do that is either to, message you or message me, and then we can get those questions, up here and get, not just what we have to, say about it, but everybody that's listening too can weigh in and help somebody, because that's what it's about. It's just, networking and trying to help each other.
Absolutely. Have a moment before we finish, probably some Q&A, some questions, especially when we have a guest on board. I know in the next coming weeks, I want to have Miriam on board. She's a lender out of Tennessee, which I was funding. Coach Russ will be on board. I want to get Sean and Kara to give their insight on Cloud Realty. I have a number of agents from the Epic team that are open to coming on board, answer some questions. So certainly get different points of view from agents that have been in the business, agents talking to about their experience with a particular team, vendors, coaches in different areas. We're going to line this up, or we're going to put a schedule ahead of time, try to get more people on board. And of course, we're going to get our technical thing set up straight. Because I'm over here with my Facebook Live, but I forgot to put the audio on, or my mic is not connected properly. So my apologies on today, but that will be taken care of.
We're still learning. And this is, the first time we're going live with the podcast. So this is live. It's not going to be, filtered. It's not going to be edited. It's going to be straight from, us to live to the podcast, and then sent out to all the channels. So this isn't going to be, a nice polished thing. This is going to be, very, very exposed, very in the moment, just basically like raw footage going out. But that's life, and that's business. Everybody always wants to put their best face forward on Facebook, and they want to have filters, and you paint this pretty picture of what's going on in your life on social media. But that's not always the case behind the scenes. It's not always, that picture perfect. And that's what we're trying to reach is, you can present one way, but if behind the scenes it's not that way,
yeah.
How are you really living? So let's kind of pull that curtain back and really try to fix everything that's, not the way you want it to be, so that you can have that life that you want to present to people. That's, oh, look, I have all this, business coming in. And
Absolutely. What you see is what you get. And I'm one of those that always consider putting content out there. But believe it or not, I always made it about myself. Man, my hair it's not right. I need a haircut. I need to shave. I need to do this. I'm not comfortable like this. I'm not comfortable doing that. Always made it about myself instead of the content that we're going to put out there. And I think you and I met on Thursday. We've been going over the idea of going live for the past month and a half or so. But on Thursday, we were like, oh, let's just do it on Tuesday. We start on Tuesday and Thursday, and then we increase the day as we go along. But let's put it on the calendar on Tuesday. Let's just make it happen. Otherwise, we're going to continue making it about ourselves rather than the content that we're going to put out there and helping people. So yeah, apologies for technical support not being there all the way, but we had to do it the way it is. This is what you see. This is what you get. That will improve as we go along. And of course, a level of comfort, the content, everything we're going to bring onto the table. I think it's just going to get better and better. So we just did it. So that's what it's all about. Outstanding. Any questions from the people joining us in Zoom that we can help answer, or anything in mind that you guys want to share with us on how this goes so far?
So I don't have any questions. I think this was a great startup to you guys' podcast. I'm really excited because I think something like this is needed. I'm sitting here listening to you guys, and I have like 30 topics that I'm like, oh, we need to talk about credit, and what affects credit, what's credit, and then as far as customers, like what to do and what not to do when you're trying to buy a house. There's just so much information that I think a lot of people don't know, and just like even agents, just be knowledgeable. And I feel like the more we know, the more we network, the better we're able to serve our customers, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, to help the customers. And kind of like Andres was saying, like he wants to shoot content, but he made it about himself. I'm the same way. Like I have a ton of knowledge that I want to give to the people to better prepare them, but I always make it about myself. My accent. Oh, my accent. People are not gonna understand me. And it's time to leave that behind and just focus on helping each other and helping the people. I feel like I'm really excited on this podcast. I'm ready to come in. I have a couple topics that I would love to talk about. So you guys did a great job, and I love the fact that it's just gonna be raw footage, just the truth, no filters. It's just the truth, and it will give people an insight of as well, like how kind of like behind the scenes, right? Because everybody looks at the picture just close, and everybody thinks like, oh man, like it's so easy. and it's not. So it's just, I think it's good stuff. I'm really excited for you guys.
Thank you. No, we're really excited too. And yes, let us know all the topics. We'd love to have you come talk, share. And that's what it's all about, sharing wisdom, helping other agents. And I think your voice is beautiful. So I would not let that, stop you from making content or anything. And just like, Andre said, I kept saying, oh, it's not ready. I'm not ready. We can't do the podcast yet. It's not ready. And we're like, no, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Because if we don't do it now, you're not going to do it. You're always going to have an excuse not to do it. There's always going to be a reason not to, if you want there to be one. But if you just say, all right, let's do it. It's not going to be perfect, but we're going to do it. And it wasn't perfect. We had our little hiccups. I couldn't get Riverside to connect. Andre's audio was off, but you know what? It's out there. We're about done with our first one. So we did it. And we'll be doing it again. And I hope you're here and we can, hear from you.
Absolutely. I think this is, putting this out here, it allows people a backdoor into who we are and the people that we're talking to, right? We know we're getting to know each other at a higher capacity. We're getting to know our guests at a higher capacity. We have clients out there that on the surface level, they get to see who we are. Just looking at our name, looking at our Facebook, our social media content, right? But now putting this together, they get to see, they have a backdoor into who we are, our personality. And something I got from a class in EXP University is people do business not because of who we are, but why we do our business, why we're doing what we're doing. People connect to our why. What's the reason of doing what we're doing? People have a way to relate to that, and ultimately they reach out to you for your help because they can connect and relate to you, not necessarily because of what you're doing. So there's thousands, not millions of realtors in that area, right? Throughout the U.S. and thousands of agents in your current market. But why are you doing it? As a realtor, it's a way people now have a door to be able to have access to me and get to know me in that capacity, get to know you, Heather, and get to know Miriam and all the people that are, that are talking to us here. So I think that, making the contact about them, and in the process, it allows them to see who we are, and down the road, hopefully be able to connect with them and help them in a higher capacity. I think this is going to be great. It's been fun. I'm excited for this. I'll tell you what, I was really nervous coming in. I don't know if you've seen the mindset, the shift throughout the conversation. I feel a lot more comfortable now than I did when I first started 35 minutes ago. So it's just going to get better. And I'll give you a heads up, Heather. You haven't seen this side of me, but I'm all crazy. Yeah, if I hear a sound in the background, I'm gonna start dancing in the middle of this. I think Miriam has seen that part of me. Ellie can certainly, and Kara can certainly tell you about that. But this is something probably people are gonna get to see, that if I hear a good sound, I'm dancing. So just to give you a heads up.
Excited. All right, guys, we gotta get Andres to the point where we can see him dance.
Trust me, that won't take much. That's me all day, every day. Ellie started laughing or running away from it because I'm walking into the grocery store and I start dancing. So that's just me. So it's a beautiful thing. I get that from my mom. My mom and I, everywhere we go, I don't know, if I hear a sound, I start dancing with her right away.
Oh,
Type of connection I have with her.
that's
So,
beautiful. I really like that. That's really sweet. I think
but
my
yeah, it's
just by me, if I started dancing, they'd be like, "Mom, stop."
my kids did that. One of my kids did that. I started dancing, he ran away. But the youngest one, he's just like me. He's just like me. He will start going. You can clearly see his personality, my personality in him, and it's fun. But yeah, well, we are wrapping up day one.
Yep.
I think this has been great. Thank you guys for coming on board, joining us on Zoom, joining us on Facebook. Sorry for the audio not completely coming through. We had some technical issues getting everything connected, but I think one of our goals today was to really just put it out there, figure out what we need to fix, where we're going next, make it better every step of the way, every episode coming through. So for us, I think it's a great win. We're able to connect, go live, and we'll make some adjustments as we go along and make sure that everyone has a better experience every step of the way.
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who joined us, and we're looking forward to doing this every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30 Eastern time. We'll have real talk, and I just encourage everybody, to bring your questions, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to discuss, let us know. We're here to help. I'm gonna shut the Zoom down, and then Andres, do you want to jump back in after I shut it down? Give
Yeah,
us- Awesome. Perfect.
I'll do that. And again, thank you, everyone. I'm gonna say something in Spanish because I want to be able to connect with everyone in Spanish as well. Ha sido un placer. Disculpen por los problemas técnicos, nuestro primer día lanzando esto. Y gracias a ustedes por estar aquí, gracias por la oportunidad de poder compartir este contenido con ustedes. Esperamos poner más contenido todos los martes y viernes. Nos acompañan, vamos a corregir los problemas técnicos para que puedan tener una mejor experiencia. Y le vamos a traer contenido de real estate, de bienes raíces, Cloud Realty, muchos aspectos que nos pueden ayudar. Y para nosotros es un placer poder estar aquí y poder ayudarlos con todo este contenido. Gracias por la oportunidad. Over and out.
Hey guys, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining us. Bye guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.